Hi, welcome to my video. Today, I will show you how to manage subqueries in SQL. Before we go further, I would like to introduce about the subqueries in SQL. So, as we have learned before, we already developed a query with a SQL statement where we have create the statement such as select star from employee. That is a query. Now, the term here is subquery. So the subquery means the query inside a query. So what is a subquery? So commonly a subquery is a query that is nested inside a select statement, insert statement, update statement, or delete statement, or inside another subquery. Means that in a subquery we can put another subquery. So a subquery can be used anywhere and expression is allowed. So if you have experience in coding, you will know that we can do a nested programming where a command line we can put another command line inside the command line. So a subquery is also called an inner query or inner select, while the statement containing a subquery is also called an outer query or outer select. Okay, so by using subquery, it will help us to modify our solution for query that have been made by the users or a report that we need to create. Okay, so basically subqueries, you have to put in your mind that subqueries is a nested query. In a statement, we can put another statement inside the same statement. Okay, I would like to show you the example. So I will use the DB2 database known as ITS232. So we start the database. So I have to connect to my database. So in this screen, you can see that I'm already connected to my database named as ITS232DB. And now I will show you all the tables inside the database. So we have 4 tables. Okay, and then before we go further, again I will review my structure for each table. So we go for the table department. So in table department, there is the column. Okay, and then I would like to show you what is the structure of my table employee. This is the columns list for my table employee. Okay, and I also have another table. Okay, here this is the table. As you can see here, we have 4 tables. I have shown you the table department, table employee. Now I would like to show you the field inside EMPX and project. So EMPX, this is the structure for the table EMPX, and this is the structure for the table project. Okay, so now let's go to subqueries exercise. So again, subquery means that a query that contains another query. Okay, so using subqueries, it will help us in managing a complicated query where we need to group an output for another statement, and the result of the statement we can use to be as the input or the argument for our filtration in the SQL statement. Okay. So let's see about this example. We do select. Let's say we want to see the average salary from table employee where we want to get the salary of the employee. So it's the average. So salary. Okay. So here we can get the average salary from table employee. Okay. Of course, it will return only one value. Okay. This is the value. Okay. So because the result is not beautiful, we can do formatting. So here we put function decimal. This is the value, the size, and the point decimal places. Okay, so we only got this result. But what if we have a query like this, whose salary is higher than the average salary? Means that we want to identify the person or the employee that his or her salary is higher from the average salary among the employees. So here we can do another selection and we can get the result very easy using subqueries. Okay, so basically the fundamental to this solution is we will use like this select, so we will know who is the employee that higher than average salary. So like this, so we know the person. Okay, last name from employee where salary, of course we know the value, so we can put 27303.59. Okay, but if we use this statement, we need to compute first the value here. Okay, we have to compute this value first before we can run for the whole statement. This is not a good solution if we do programming. Means that we have to put another formula here how to generate this value. Yes, this statement can help us to get the result, but the way to get the result is not efficient. It's not dynamic, where we have to generate the value 27303.59 first. We will get the result. It will take some time. Okay. Okay, this is the result where the result shown the employee that their salary is higher than the average salary. But this is not a good solution. How we want to get the best result, because the 27303.59 is not a static value, is a dynamic value, because if another increment or decrement or additional of employee have been inserted inside the table, the value will change. So how we want to get the latest value of this average salary? So if we want to manage the solution, we have to make sure this value is always correct. And to get this, we have to do this. Okay, we have to do this. So now you can see here, this is one statement. And this is the second statement. But to get the solution for the second statement, where this is the real statement for our solution, we need the first statement first. So you can see here that we need to put the first statement inside this part to get the result. Therefore, we will get accurate value. So what we will do is we still continue using the final statement like this, but here we put the statement where to get the average salary. So again, for subqueries, you have to start with parenthesis and start doing your step, your query. So where you want to get the average of the salary, and as you can see here, the statement is similar with the first statement. And you have to close it with the parenthesis, and the result is still the same as what we get from the first trial of the statement here. So when we do nested programming, or sorry, a nested subqueries, this result will be gained by the statement result here. Okay, this result actually is a dynamic value, so it will be generated by this statement. Okay, you can see here where salary, start from here. This is the expression. We start putting the query. So this is subquery, because as you can see here, this is one query, and the whole list is a one query. So when you put parentheses, it shows that you are using another query inside a query. So this is subquery. So using subquery, we can get the value instantly and correctly, rather than we put the value such as that we use in the example where we put the value 27303.59. So we will get the correct information for our result. We get 14 records, and also here the same result, 14 records, but the way we write the statement here is different. So this is the advantage of using subqueries. All right. So we can manipulate the subqueries in many ways. Let's say I have a query who earned the lowest bonus. Who earned the lowest bonus means that we have to know what is the value of the minimum bonus that have been given to the employee. So we have to know to use the function of minimum. So from the column bonus, we need to identify what is the minimum value inside the column bonus. Therefore, we can use the value to compare for the whole employee inside table employee. So let's say we take a look what is the how we want to get the minimum value for the bonus. So of course the statement is select min from column bonus in table employee. So we know that from among the employees, the minimum value for the bonus is $300. So $300 must be compared with all the bonus for each employee. So I hope you can understand that this is our subquery that we need to put inside our solution. So our query is we want to know who earned the lowest bonus. Who earned the lowest bonus means that who is the employee, which employee that has the lowest bonus, means that he have to equal to 300. So which employee? So the query is which employee that earn the lowest bonus. So we do our main query here, select. We want to know which employee, so we have to put the employee number, right? His name, and of course we want to know the value of the bonus for the employee, so we can put the bonus. And of course we retrieve from table employee, and the filtration is we want to get the minimum bonus. So of course we know the value is 300, but the 300 is static value. To get the dynamic or the latest value of the minimum bonus, because the data will be changed, okay, so it's better for us to put the subquery statement. So of course we here to put operator equal, because we have already identified the minimum bonus, that is 300 ringgit. So we put this statement as the subqueries. Okay, we don't need to put the 300 because the 300 is static value. So again, for subqueries, you have to be remembered to use parentheses. So start doing your subquery. So select minimum bonus. This is a complete statement for the subqueries, and then you have to close it. So this is a full query, and this is the subquery, where the subquery need to be run first. Okay, like a mathematic, what operation inside the parentheses must be run first. So when we run this statement, actually it will return the value of 300 ringgit. So the 300 ringgit will be matched with the where bonus equal to 300 ringgit. Okay, we didn't put the 300 here because the 300 is dynamic value. So better we put the statement. So we run, and this is the result, because the minimum bonus is 300 ringgit. It means that when you run this statement, okay, and in a computer, the algorithm will run line by line. So actually it will be same that the value is actually $300. So the result also same, but we don't want to put this because this is static value, okay, not dynamic. That is why we need to put subquery, and these subqueries help us to give solution. So the tips to use subquery is you have to identify what is the statement for the subqueries, and then the result of the subqueries will be given to the main statement, so it will generate the result. Okay, so subqueries can be used as a simple expression, even though you can use bigger than or less than or equal. You can use in, because in can be used to get a list of result, a list of data. Okay, let's say we are, let's say we want to show, let's say I have one query. I want to list the names and employee numbers of employees who are managers of a department. Okay, I want to know the names and the employee numbers of employees who are managers of a department. Okay, so how I want to do that? So we have to understand first the query. So the major query, the main query is we want to know the names, okay, the names and employee numbers of employees. So we have to get the manager, and then we have to relate who, how many person under the manager. Okay, so the manager can be retrieved from table department. So let's say this is the data from table department. So in this ERD, we can identify that manager number here. We can identify that the manager number column is a foreign key. Okay, foreign key. Foreign key that we refer or will look up to table employee. Means that this is the employee who manage this department. Okay, and from department, we also know in table employee, select start from employee. We also know that each employee owns their department. Okay, from the table employee, we also know that each employee has their own department. So this is a foreign key in table employee that we look up to table department. And from the table department, there is a foreign key called manager number that we look up to table employee. Means that in relationship, okay, one department can has many employee. Okay, this is one relationship, and another one is one employee can manage one department. Okay, so let's see how it works for our query. So my query is I want to list names and employee numbers of employees who are managers of a department. So we will list the manager's name with the total numbers of his subordinate. Okay, this is my screen. So what is the subquery? The subquery is we want to know how who is the manager. So we try to run first, select manager number from department. So we know this is the result. This is the employee who are managers. So my query is I want to know who is the managers and the total number of employee under him. So using this statement, we already identify who are the employees that also hold a position as manager. So my main query is I want to know to list the name. So of course all the information about the manager and employee is inside table employee, so we have to put the information for the employee. So such as maybe we put employee number, first name of the manager, and last name. Right? Okay. So if you want to be clear, so we can put as manager first name. Sorry, we label it first name, and here last name as manager last name. All right. So of course from table employee, okay, of course from table employee, and we start to do subqueries using in. Why we use in? Because we already have the data here, the list. So we have identified the list. So the manager is the employee that have manager number 00, employee number 000 10 000 20. So we need to use in because from this result it produces a list. So to get the list, to read data from the list, we better use in. So again, we start to put the query here. So we have to start with parentheses. So select manager number from department. And of course, this result from this statement, you will get this list. That is why we use in. So imagine here the result is, you can see that in here maybe, okay, the result is actually, if you still remember how to use in, so the result is actually, it will be like this 00010, okay, 00020, and so on. But this is not a good way to do query because it will return static value. We want to get the latest value, the updated value. So we have to put statement because statement is the best solution. Okay, so as you can see here, this is one statement. Inside this statement, this is subquery, so we run it. Manager number, sorry, I have a typing error. Let's say employee first name, last name as manager from employee. Select manager, sorry, I have to check first. mgr no, where in. Okay, not a problem, we can run this first. Okay, no error. So we put, oh sorry, because I have forgot to put here. So what we want to compare? So of course the employee number. Okay, the employee number, put capital letters. The employee number in. So the column will be matched with the result. So I enter. So this is the result. Okay. So here, this is the manager number, the manager list. Okay, the employee who hold position as manager. Okay, so we have a list here from this result. So we get all the manager, and the manager where the employee number match with the manager number here. So this is one solution. Of course, you can match such as the foreign key and the primary key. You will get the same result, but this example show you how to use it. Okay, so there are a lot of style to give solution. So this is the best solution to get the manager information. Okay, you can also get the same information when you combine the two tables. Okay, I give example from employee. So employee A and then department B where manager no. So B is department. So B dot manager equal to A dot emp no. Okay, so I have put here so dot a dot a dot. So you see, you still get the same result, but the previous example only show you how to use subqueries using what? Using in, right? Okay. Okay, now we take a look in subqueries using variations on predicates. Okay, so this is interesting because you know that SQL will give you a lot of ideas to solution. Let's say we want to compare a value, okay, using predicates. So of course you can match the result. Okay, I give you the first basic. So example, let's say we want to do this, select emp no last name work department. This is what we want to display for the result, and job from table employee. So here we look how we want to match using predicates, where we put here work department inside of work department. We can put another style of retrieving the data like this predicates, and we match with the value. So let's say the value that we match on work department column is D21. Of course, we have to put the single quote because this is string value. Okay, remember, if number you don't need to put the single quote. T21, and then the data is cloud. So sorry, work department, typing error, work department. So this is the result. Okay, where you can see using predicates. Okay, using predicate, if you put two arguments, you have to also match it with two value. So here we use predicate where we assign a value to be matched in work department. So this is the result T21, and we also want to identify only inside the work department. We only retrieve the cloud, so this is the cloud. Okay, but so what I want to show you here is you are using predicates. Okay, predicates. So you can match like this. So you will get the result. So there are many ways to use in SQL to get solution. So let's say we want to replace the value here using subqueries. So it can be done using subqueries. So of course we will replace this with a query. So let's say if you are using query, the result is more accurate and updated rather than assign a value like this. This is not dynamic. So again, I want to know inside the employee where the last name start with Smith. Okay, with Smith. So the work department, okay, let's say we have to match first. Okay, I will scroll down. Okay, so let's say I want to know the person in Smith department that have the same job as Smith. Okay, so my query is I want to know who are the person who are in the same Smith department, and the person also have the same job as Smith. So of course I will use predicates, so I will put the select, but you have to make sure you can see here you only want to get two fields for your result. So of course here if you want to use subqueries, the selection also must be written two values. So of course you need to match with work department, okay, and job, so it will match. Okay, make sure you have two value argument here. You also need to return from the subqueries, also return two value. So from employee, but I want to get the Smith only. So where last name equal to, of course this is string, so we have to put this. Of course you have to close. So one column, wait, where is my error? From employee where work tab job. Oh sorry, I have to use in, not equal, because it lists it. Because why? Because this result from this statement will return list. Okay, we will see I will explain later. So enter. So this is the result where Jefferson Marino. Okay, you have Smith. You see Smith. Smith is in department D21 and his job is clerk. Okay, so you know, so from the result of the select, it would department job from employee where last name equal to Smith. Okay, you know, also there are 2% here, Smith, instead of Clark. The Smith last name also operator. So we can get the information about the person who has this the same department and the same job as Smith. So I show you what is the result from this. Okay, so result from this is the result. So of course we identify that D21, okay, D21 here is a clerk, and another one is E11 is operator. Due to this filtration, we get these 9 records. Why? Because in the list, because as you can see here, we are using in. So the result is what? The result is 2 rows. So 2 rows using in, so it will returns this value. Alright. So this is the powerful of SQL. You can manipulate SQL. Or we can use not. Okay. Let's say in this database, we want to identify which departments that don't have any projects assigned to them. So in real world, we want to reduce the loss of in operation. So we want to know which department is not performed. So now I will use this query for you to see how we can use not in. So my query is which departments do not have projects assigned to them. Means that we have to identify in table project. So let's see in table project, select star from project. Okay, so in table project, okay, it will consist the project information, and of course it will assign which department involved in the project. But as you can see here, not all department has been assigned a project. So let's say the value or the information in table department. So we have 9 departments, and not all the 9 departments has been assigned a project, because the table project can identify the owner of the project. Means that which department own the project. Okay, so what we are going to do is we just need to list the department number and the department name from table department, but we have to identify from the list of the department which one of the department is not included in table project. So let's see here. So we want to know the department, so we put the department number, department name, of course from table department. Okay, where what? We want to know which department, so where department number in table project is not matched. Okay, it means that it's not exist in table project, so we have to put not. So where we use in, because there are a lot of data, so it will become a list, so we use not in. So the list will be generated by this statement, select department number from project. Okay, where department number, of course we are using not. So of course we have to retrieve the project that has no null values. Okay, so this is the project. Okay, so our attention here is to generate the value where the department number is not. Okay, I will show you later what is the result in the subqueries. Okay, so I enter. So the result is we can identify that the department A00 has not been assigned any project. Okay, let's see what is happened for our subquery here. Okay, it's not null. So we run the subquery. So as the result, this is the result, means that this is the department that have been assigned a project. Okay, we have D01, D21, okay, and from this we want to match with not. So we don't want the department number that have been selected from this list, so we get this result. So A00 is not listed here, so it means that A00 is the department who has not been assigned any project. Okay, hopefully you understand how we can manipulate subqueries to get solution for real world query. And also I want to show you that subqueries can be used inside having clause. So subqueries or nested queries, you can put it anywhere as long as the expression can accept subqueries. Okay, let's say I need a list of the departments whose average salary for non-managers is higher than the company-wide average for non-managers. The department which with the highest average should be listed first. So here you can identify, first you have to get one result, and from the one result you need to use the result to get another result. And of course here you want the result will be grouped by the work department, because we want to get the average. So here, and also the last my statement is should be listed first. So if you see this word, it refers you have to order by. So my statement here is select work department average salary, right? Let's say I label it as average work department. If I didn't put the label, it will return the number of column after we run this result. So to make it beautiful, I put a label from employee where. Okay, so here we want to get, okay, the employee that is not a manager. So we have to put the job is not equal to manager, and we have to group by the work department or the department. Okay, and of course from the result of the group by, we want to again filter from the result in the group by where the average salary of the result of the grouping, okay, we want to get bigger than this is the subqueries happen here. So this is a quite complex statement, but from this example hopefully you can understand that you can guess when you want to use subqueries, either in simple query or complex query. So here is very complex because you are using having. Okay, so the coding is still quite long because we have to do solution based on query. So here manager, right? Of course you have to close the parenthesis and you want to list it, so to sort it. So we have to make sure that the label we want to label by average salary. So AVG. Oh, sorry, this is typing error. Okay, AVG underscore work department. AVG avg underscore work department, and of course we want to descending dsc. Enter. Manager is not valid. Is manager. Oh, sorry, because I didn't put single quote because the manager is a data. So this is the all right. So this is the result. So what we see here is we list the department, okay, whose average salary for non-managers is higher than the company wide average for non-managers. All right, that is why we put this operator. Okay, this operator. Okay, the department with the highest average should be listed first because the highest should come first. That is why we need to put descending. So this is the result. So as you can see here, the work department, AVG work department comes from the main statement here, not here. Here is the subquery. So the subquery returns what is the actually the result. So it's not a problem. You can run the subquery, and of course this is the average salary that you need to bigger than here, bigger than. So it can compute for your result. Okay. Hopefully, you know how to use subqueries inside your SQL statement. So for the subqueries, please be remembered that all the statement for subqueries, if you want to do subqueries, you have to make sure the subqueries is always on the right side of search condition. Means that right side means this is the right side. Compared to this is the left side. So the subqueries must be on the right side. Okay, the right side, not the left side. Okay, and again, one more thing is subqueries must be put after where, not in select, after where, or in having. So you can put subqueries in where and having only. Please be remembered. And of course, each subqueries must be started with opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. Okay, and of course you have to remember based on your subqueries, it can be written single or multiple values. If multiple values, maybe you should use in. If you use single values, you can use operator bigger than or equal. Okay, or if you use predicates, it depends on how you want to manage your subqueries. And the number of values subqueries can return must be compatible with operator in outer select. Must be written means that if you put here having average salary, so means that only one value. So of course you have to measure one value. Same as the predicate also, the from the previous example as I showed you just now. Where is the predicates? Like this. If you want to get 2 only, of course you punya selection also return the same. Okay, the same values. And one more thing is the subquery must return the same number of items as is in the list to which is compared. Okay, the values, the number of values and the same number of list of item must be the same. It can be matched. Okay, match. If not, your subqueries will not balance. Okay, that's all for your learning on subqueries for SQL. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and get your knowledge, and that's all for this video. Thank you and bye bye.